Pro boxing fans, we are here in Ipswich, 2 days away from the big one for Fabio Wardley and Justis Huni. Sahni, mate, how are you?
Very well. I noticed that your eyes were immediately drawn to the badge. Yeah. So there's the DAZN badge. Sure. What about this one? Yeah. What about this Queensberry badge? You know, and it's sort of. There's the tattoo as well, but I'm not going to reveal that today. Yeah, no, the Queensberry tattoo is there, but I'm not going to reveal that today. But yeah, I'm good, mate. Happy to be in Ipswich, and it's a decent press conference, wasn't it? I was expecting it to be relatively tame, and there was a little moment here and there, you know, little Frank and Justis Huni saying it's going to be my night, and it's all right.
Yeah, so let's talk about this one. Obviously, a lot of people that don't know boxing, you know, more I've heard of Justis Huni, but people inside boxing are making this noise about Justis Huni. They've seen his past fights, and from what you've seen, and a very confident matchroom side, can you see the case for Justis Huni against Fabio Wardley in this one?
You can definitely see the case. You can see the case because he's been boxing since he was 8 years old. He's unbeaten as a professional. By the time Fabio Wardley first picked up a pair of boxing gloves, Huni had been boxing for 12 years. At some point, that's got to matter. At some point. But maybe it won't. But I can definitely see the case for it. And the fact that Matchroom have taken the fight, the fact that they are risking their number 2 heavyweight behind Anthony Joshua, the one that's got all the world rankings, at short notice, away from home, you know, so far from Australia, the fact that they're chucking him in must mean they fancy it. Or maybe they've given up on him. I don't know, but I feel like they fancy it.
Interesting. For Fabio, I don't know who mentioned it, but I can't really think of who it was, but somebody said that career that he's had so far and the way he's come through the white collar background, you'll never see it again. No. It is, when you look back at it, it is absolutely crazy, and the position that he's in right now.
I think it gives hope to anyone working in recruitment who is unhappy, because that was him. Oh, yeah, that was him. He was there. He was at his desk. He was like, "Can I get you a job? Can I get you a job?" Right? No, forget all that. Let me try a bit of boxing. So he did it. He just changed his life, and I love that. It's a story like you'd never hear before. It feels like only in boxing this sort of thing can happen, where a fella picks up a pair of gloves for the first time at 20 years old after watching a bit of boxing. And remember, we used to have a few fights. He did that thing where he went back to the dad, punched him a few more times. That was kind of his boxing background at that point. Fancied it, changed his life. 4 white collar fights. Let me go pro. Oh shit! I'm knocking everyone out. Suddenly I'm number 10 in the world. Suddenly I fancy a fight here at Portman Road. I love it. I love Fabio Wardley. I love this story, and I can't wait for Saturday.
Dillian Whyte was supposed to be on this card. Obviously now it seems like there's a big fight in August. Lawrence Okolie's had a bit to say, saying Dillian Whyte's running scared of him. I was going to ask you, you love that sort of stuff, don't you?
Mate, I love it. Okolie, people have a lot to say about Okolie, right? But I'm a fan, and he brings good energy, right? So he'll speak his mind. If he thinks that Dillian Whyte doesn't fancy it, he will go outright just say it. And I'd love that fight. It'd be great. Dillian Whyte isn't running from anyone, by the way. So if you stick that question to Dillian Whyte and say, "Oh, are you scared of fighting Lawrence Okolie, by the way? What do you think his reaction's going to be?" He'll probably slap you. So yeah. So I hope at least one day that could happen. I had them next to each other at a press conference before. They weren't fighting each other, but I had to stick in a little something saying, "Oh, well, didn't you put that sparring video up a little while ago? What's going on?" And they was fairly friendly, but then they go away and do all these interviews like slagging each other off. So I'd love that. I'd love to stir it up between them.
You know, I did actually ask Dillian last time about Lawrence, and yeah, let's just say it was some very choice words were said in that response. But yeah, look, we know that that's possibly a fight that could happen in the future. Your mate, good old mate, Tyson Fury's been training away, looks happy. You know, as fighter fans are just waiting on his return if he ever comes back. But what are you making of Tyson and his social media? And, you know, he's throwing out signals, maybe. Maybe he's throwing out signals.
I just can't wait to watch this latest instalment of the Netflix documentary, which is what seems to be. I watched a video this morning. He was travelling through town on a kind of horseback carriage kind of thing. He looks like he's having a great time. Yeah, he looks in shape. And yeah, he's going for runs multiple times a day, it looks like. But I don't know. Maybe he's just giving Netflix some wonderful content so the documentary pops. I don't know, but we'll see, won't we? We'll see.
And also the other night, if Anthony Joshua's going to sign a 3-fight deal with Turki Al-Sheikh, and one of them or two of them fights is going to be a Tyson Fury fight. If that is the case, and look, we can't talk about Tyson retaining right now. He's retired, but if that is the case, Dev, how excited are you going to be that maybe these two men finally get it on?
Listen, if it did happen, I'd be very excited. I'd be very, very, very excited. I've wanted to see that fight for many, many years. It would be a big moment, wouldn't it? It's like they're so opposite in terms of character. The pressers would be fantastic. The build-up. I wonder if there'd be a push and a pull. But right now, it's all just a dream. It's all just a dream.
Talking about dreams, I'm talking about fighters that have had absolutely fantastic careers as an amateur and as a pro, and has announced his retirement today. Lomachenko, Vasiliy Lomachenko, one of the greats. Just talk to me, man, what a career he is had.
I saw that. It happened during the presser, didn't it? I checked my phone after. What was his amateur record? 396-1? Yeah, outrageous. That doesn't happen. Like, you look at Usyk, right? He lost like 5, 6, 7 times in the amateurs as well. It makes you appreciate this god that Lomachenko was. And I mean, his style doesn't really age particularly well. He's now 36, 37, 38, late 30s. Sad, isn't it? Sad. It was a bit of an end of an era. I remember his first, I think he got a world title fight in his second fight, didn't he? And they wanted it for the first one, but he got like a ranking belt. Salido, it was all a little bit, it was hard. But some of the things that I've seen him do in a boxing ring are absolutely outrageous. It's like he'll punch you from this side, and then he'll punch you from that side, and then the opponent's spun around, and Lomachenko's in the front row, like with the opponent's misses. Like, it's weird things like that. He's just such a G. So best of luck in retirement, Vasiliy Lomachenko.
Actually, a final one, and this is a matchroom show. Peter McGrail is supposed to be fighting Shabazz Masood, but Baluta's come on. And look, I just want to ask your opinion on Baluta, because he's featured on so many Queensberry shows. But mate, he gives it his all, doesn't he? This could potentially be a banana skin content.
I'll be honest, Doon, he's a fucking lunatic. And that's what he is. That is what Baluta is. Pardon my language, and he seems to have this kind of rivalry with the Everton Red Triangle Gym, Brad Strand, who he's just beaten in a controversial one. He's boxed before that against Andrew Kane, and he got the win over Andrew Kane as well. He wants Peter McGrail now. He's stepping in. And listen, he might beat Peter McGrail. He's such a handful. The only person I've ever seen really do a proper job on him is Liam Davis. Let's bear in mind, Andrew Kane did break his hand in the first round, had him over a couple of times, and some are saying that he won that. But Liam Davis kept him at bay. Let's see if Peter McGrail can follow that same kind of blueprint. But he's such a handful. He hasn't even got that many knockouts. He just doesn't leave you alone. Horrible, horrible little man.
It is true. That's what I wanted to ask you, because we've covered many of his shows together, so I just want your opinion on him. But he's an absolute terror. And what a fighter. He does make you think about, your career at times, and fair play to him. Dev Sahni, thank you very much for your time. Keep on doing it. Actually, which one?
Yeah, one more thing. Mike Perez. Are you aware of this guy's story?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Someone at some point needs to sit down with him for 25 minutes and just go through all of it. No one's done it yet. A bit like he defected from Cuba, first time got it wrong, ended up in prison, then defected correctly via the Mexican cartel. Weird things like that.
It's a movie, man.
It's a movie. So I'm looking forward to seeing him on Saturday against Stephen Ward. I think it's a really, really good fight. And if Perez comes through, he's talking about Opataya. Opataya's fighting a few hours later. Let's see if he calls him out. I can't wait to find out. It's such a good show, isn't it?
Cool. Dev Sahni, always a pleasure, mate. Thank you so much for your time, and I will be seeing you on Saturday night. Top man. Thank you.